Well, it looks like we have one less federal party. What do I mean? Well, there was an announcement that came out on Monday saying that the Liberals and the NDP had reached a tentative deal whereby the NDP would support the Liberals for the next 4 budgets, as well as any confidence motions in the House of Commons. And in exchange for this, the Liberals would push forward or put forth key elements of the NDP's pharmacare as well as their dental care programs that they wanted to implement. So, what does this mean? Well, let's look at it from a few vantage points. First off, if you were an NDP voter, what does this mean? Well, if I was an NDP voter, and for transparency, I've never voted NDP, but I would be a little disappointed this morning. I would say, look, when I voted Jagmeet Singh in the NDP or my local MP, I wasn't voting Liberal light. It isn't Liberal policies I was supporting. I believed in a different ideology than Justin Trudeau, and I thought my party did too. This would tell me that my party's willing to make a deal with the devil for a few crumbs off the master's table. Certainly not something I'd be thrilled about. The other thing I'd be concerned with, as if I was a NDP voter, is the leadership of Jagmeet Singh. This would appear to be self-preservation for Jagmeet. Honestly, in my humble opinion, if we had a federal election called today, given the past 2 years and the loss of some of the freedoms, and I know NDP voters have been big champions of personal freedoms, I think they would lose some votes and some seats. And this is Jagmeet's way of holding on to that power until the next election and making sure his coffers and his budget, it gets supported. Now, he may say to some of his voters, look, I got these things done, but at what cost? And obviously, this also tells me that he has no expectations of ever becoming prime minister, because if he did, he would have maintained his independence. Okay, so what does this mean for the rest of us? Well, it means that our opposition in the House of Commons now is left to the Bloc and the Conservatives. And they are the two who will work together to oppose whatever policies may be put forth. Now, there is obviously enough seats, MPs, between the Liberals and the NDP that Justin Trudeau can push through pretty much anything he likes. However, my sincere hope is that if there's things that are very draconian, that the MPs will hear from all of us, and maybe they'll have a conscience-raising moment where some of the ones from the NDP and the Liberals may cross the floor in opposition to their own parties and defeat something that may be being put forth. I know, wishful thinking, no guarantees, but hey, one can certainly hope. And lastly, what does this mean to the rest of us as far as what do we do for the next 3 years? Well, we fight. There's no going home. There's no retreating. There's no putting up the white flag. I think I see it as a kind of a multi-prong approach. Number one, all of us in our circle of influence have to reach or connect with people who didn't vote in the last federal election. And we have to make them aware that elections have consequences. This large group who didn't vote could have had a major impact on what was out there. We have to work with the remaining parties. If you're in Quebec or you're in the rest of Canada, you need to, or wherever, reach out to candidates who want to run in the next elections, whether it's the People's Party, the Conservatives, whatever party. For me, personally, it's about reaching out to the people who are the MPs, the people who want to represent you, and questioning them on policies. Where do they stand? Making sure that you fundamentally understand who they are, what they're promising, and if it makes any sense. Folks, we have allowed ourselves to be bought off because we've done very little work into the democratic process. We think our participation in democracy was voting every 4 years and spending an hour and doing that, and we thought we were champions for doing so. Sadly, no. The real champions were the ones who gave their lives for this country so we could have the right to vote. So we must now engage in that process. You must take the time to learn about the issues, and you must engage your politicians. This doesn't mean you got to make this 24/7 your life, but it means that you at least are willing to invest a couple of hours a week in learning what's going on in your own country and understanding the issues better. I don't think all hope is lost. We've got another election coming up. We still have the opportunity to have a voice. We still live in a democratic country where we can still be vocal and put forth our opposition. And hopefully the key to defeating bad ideology is with better ideology and better ideas. And we must, as a group, put forth really good ideas so that that 40% or whatever that didn't vote will support things that we agree with. But not only that, hopefully some of the people who are currently NDP voters or Liberal voters may also be disillusioned somewhat with what's going on and hopefully we've got better ideas, better solutions that they would support and come along and support a different party. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please post any comments you might have in the comments section. You can also follow me on Rumble and my Locals account. My goal in posting these videos is to get us to think critically and to think about the big ideas. And that's effectively how we move the needle. We have to participate because we are all part of the democratic solution. See you next time.